And remember to mute the YouTube.
No, good point.
Otherwise, it's like an 8-second delay.
You know what? I will mute that computer. No, how come I don't see it?
Otherwise, it's like an 8-second delay.
You know what? Oh, there it is. Look at that.
And there we go.
All right, we're on. Bruce, we're on. We're on
We're
live.
on live.
Poster
Holy
tag
cow.
shows up right at 9 o'clock.
There he is. Look at that, eh? That
Right.
smiling face. Way to go, buddy.
Hello.
You just, what are you? You're so special you can just walk on stage? What is it with you guys in the two shirts? Oh, there's Joe G says hello. Randy Timmerman. And Wachowski. Ah, look at Timmerman go spoon. Sparky 107 says good day. James Mattern says hi.
Hello.
And there's our friend the dentist.
Nice.
So, Lionel, do you want to discuss what tonight's going to be all about?
Well, we're just going to talk. We're going to look and see what people say. What's the dentist in Rhode Island? What's his name? I don't remember right off the top of my head. Wayne Mollahan.
Mollahan.
Wayne Mollahan, super fan number 9.
Yeah.
I almost forgot your name, Wayne. For a second, I forgot your name. Look at how many people are there. Hello, gang. Hi, guys. There is a topic? No, there's no topic.
Yeah,
It's
no
just us
topic.
talking. This is exactly what it looks like before we start a podcast.
Indeed, it does.
Yep.
Now, there's Joe. Now I'm locking the room. That's it. I'm locking
That's
the room. We got 5 guys in here. Thanks for showing up on time, Joe. Making us look professional.
So, Mike, how was railroading today?
Yeah, what'd you do today, Mike? Mike is our resident 1-to-1 locomotive engineer working for the Canadian National Railroad. And you were the union rep for how many years?
Oh, I was the union rep for about 5 years, but I've been a union officer for just right around 20.
And what is a union officer do? 20 years you've been a union officer?
Yeah, I was a local chairman for 5, the last 5. For 11 years prior to that, I was a legislative representative, which meant I kind of talked to on the political side of stuff. So I, would deal with bills and legislation that affected the railroad and stuff like that. And then I was a secretary treasurer for a little while and a couple of alternates and stuff like that. So got my time.
How many guys are in the union in Green Bay? How many in that local? They call it a local or they call it division in the railroading?
It's a division. Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers, Division 209. And I think we have 23. Pretty small. Really small. 22
Really?
or 23. Yeah.
Because it's just Green Bay, right? And is it the surrounding area?
No, it's just, Green Bay and then Manitowoc. But other than that, yeah. It's
And
just
what's the next town down the road? The one that you say your locomotives come from?
Nina.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, there's a song out there that's Where the Hell is Nina? True story, there is.
We got.
Oh, look at that. Kaylee Zhang, she's on the ground. She made it.
Yes.
Good. Great out loud. It looked like half of her plane was.
And Spoon's there. You froze up a bit, Spoon. Spoon has the worst internet on the face of the planet.
I do not.
Have you gotten that cable yet?
No, I have not.
First question.
A question. Oh, we have a question. We should introduce everybody. We have me, the annoying old guy. We have Mike Ostertag from Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Howdy.
And then we have Boston Joe Cummings from Hanover, Boston. Or no, where are you from?
Hanover, Massachusetts.
Hanover, Massachusetts, which is just south of Boston.
About 20 miles.
And he's our official chauffeur at Amherst. He's taking us around on Friday. And then we have Kramer, who is our producer, our technical guy, the guy in charge of everything, the screener of the questions, our moderator. Ron Marsh always has like 4 moderators. We just have Kramer. That's all we need.
And it's going to keep me busy.
And then we have, of course, my screen's different from yours. And then we have Bruce, the moderately agitated mail boy.
That's me.
He's wearing the latest shirt.
Sporting the new one.
The newest shirt.
So
There's Brooks. Go ahead.
our first question is from Sparky. It says Amherst is coming up, and anyone on the panel getting excited and or going? Well,
Yes.
I'll start it off first with I'm getting excited. I want to see what Scale Trains is going to come up with. Because they got
Right?
those 2.
Because they always have releases. They always have a new release.
Yeah. They got 2 this time. 2 new
Yes.
locomotives.
Oh, do they really?
Yes.
And N Scale and HO.
And Tony Cook knows what they are, but he won't tell us.
And Scale Trains is having a contest that, from what I gather, you can put your name in a draw. And if you are the winner, you get to make the announcement for the scale of your choice and take a loco home.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Wow.
This is like the greatest hobby in
didn't
the
know
world.
It is the greatest
Hap,
hobby in the
hap,
world.
So Scale Trains is making 2 announcements. Look at how fast this is going.
Wait a minute. Do you ever
David
notice?
Stark says he'll be
Remember
there.
on Sesame Street?
Somebody
or was it
says
the
turn
electric
up your
company
mic.
that-
Yeah.
3 of these things
It's
just
hard to
don't
hear you.
belong
That's
here.
perfect.
One of
That's
these
the way we
things
want
is
it.
not like the other.
So one of these things is not like the other.
So, Bruce, you and I are going.
Yes.
I think it's
Yes,
appropriate.
we are.
We're
I think
leaving
it's
on
absolute- don't
Thursday.
you, Joe?
Yes.
Mhm.
And hopefully
Absolutely
getting there in
appropriate.
time for. I wonder if you can get your
Yeah.
passes on.
My camera off now.
Oyster Tag go to sleep,
Yeah.
or is he just frozen?
Oh, he's frozen on your side?
He's
Uh-oh.
frozen on my side. He's
Michael's
nodding
frozen.
off. Oyster Tag
Despite the
nodding.
podcast that said he fixed the internet, apparently not.
Well,
Yeah.
what's funny is none of you are frozen
Oh,
on
yeah.
mine. He's talking,
Perfect.
and you're talking, Lionel.
Well, I don't hear him talking. So, anyways, Bruce, you and I are going, and we're
Yes,
going
we
on
are.
Thursday.
Yes.
We're going to go to the hotel, and Joe, you're coming over on and stay. We're all staying at the Hampton Inn in Enfield, Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a fun
Now,
time.
somebody wants to get into the room.
Uh-oh. I'm going to take a guess and say
It's
it's
Mike.
Tag. Oh, there he is.
How's your internet working now, Mike?
I was talking. Everything was fine.
Yeah, that's right.
I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Next thing I
It's
know,
the
I was
new
waking up
world.
in Toledo.
Kurt Muller, stand still.
We got Kaylee saying she believes Athearn will have a release there too.
Ah,
And Mike
We should-
Wachowski is saying that it will be the AML Party Hotel.
exactly.
It will be. So, okay, let's go over the itinerary. We kind of stumbling over it. So Thursday, you and me are driving from the Toronto area.
Yes,
Boston,
sir.
you're driving from Boston over to Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
Is he frozen now too?
No?
No.
Who, me?
Or is he just doing that? Can he hear us?
You talking about me?
Say something, Joe.
Something, Joe.
Joe the comedian.
Mm-hmm.
This would be so cool if it worked well.
Sparky, I have my mic turned all the way up. Unfortunately, it seems this mic's a little on the quiet side. I can try and speak up.
I can hear you fine. I
Yes.
hear you fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hear you fine.
I hear you just fine.
And Kevin Marks asked, what is Joe eating?
Yeah.
Joe is frozen on my screen.
Reese's
I can't
Pieces.
hear him. Are you guys hearing him talk?
Yeah, we're hearing
yeah.
him talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you, kid.
I'm not hearing anything on my screen.
There you go.
He's eating Reese's Pieces.
We got
Yes.
a compliment from looks better than Skype.
Well, yes.
It does
Yeah.
look better than Skype. All right. So, anyways, this is weird because I can't hear Joe. I can't hear him. He's not moving. He's frozen on my screen. It's very odd and peculiar. Okay. So, anyways, you and I are going on Thursday. We're meeting Joe. We're all going to have dinner on Thursday night. What are you doing, Bruce?
Just messing with you.
No, thanks. That helps. That really helps.
Apparently on YouTube, everybody can't hear me, but you guys can hear me fine. So.
And Joe, I can't hear Joe at all. I haven't heard. He's been frozen for the last 5 minutes on mine.
I can.
That's why it's only going to be an hour. So anyway, then on Friday, we're the three of us. He's got Planters cheese balls. Excellent.
Oh, excellent choice, Mr. Ostertag.
We're driving over to see George Chelios's layout.
Yes.
We're going to have Tom Jacobs and James Mattern's going to be in the car. And today, Greg Javanello contacted me and asked me if he could be in the car. Is there anything I can do with Joe? Like, can I kick him off and have him come back in again or something?
Or you could just pick them off.
Or maybe if I hit refresh on my screen. No, that kicks me off. I wonder if I'll be able to let myself into my own room.
Maybe it would work better if you just put Ted the Wonder Dog on there.
Yeah.
There
He's
you go.
asleep on the floor.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Yeah, we can all hear him.
I can't. He's frozen solid on my screen.
Tell him I'm talking trash about him.
You're talking trash about you.
Yeah.
And then on Friday, we're going to George Chelios's, and then we're heading down to Chris Adams' place,
Yes.
Old Saybrook. Sounds like, and we were going to meet Chris Atkins and Speed over there and George Chelios. I've never been to George Chelios's layout. Have you, Bruce?
No, sir.
And
I've
does he have
seen many pictures of it, but never seen it in person, so I'm looking
Does
forward
he
to it.
have like an open house or something?
He does. On the Friday before the show, he opens it up to, I think, between 9 and 2, something like that, for people coming to the show who want to visit.
Just from 9 till 2.
That is my understanding when I talked to him on the phone.
Well, you actually talked to him on the phone.
I did.
Did he mention me at all?
Surprisingly, no.
I thought he did, Bruce, and it was something about once he gets there, they're locking the door so he can't come in.
Well, that's, between
Ooh, was that
certain
the surprise? And I wasn't supposed
that's a
to
surprise,
spoil
and
it?
now you've ruined it for everybody.
Joe, I'm going to remove you, and then you're going to have to come back in because this is throwing me off because I'm not hearing anything. Nothing.
Oh, look how sad
I
Joe is
know.
now. He's got that sad face like Ted the Wonder Dog right now.
So come on back in, Joe. I've unlocked the room so he can come back in because he was just frozen. I couldn't tell if he was talking or not.
Here he comes again.
Hello, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. See, now I can hear you. It's weird.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, well, it's new days anyway.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
got the Suburban. So you got the Suburban rented, Joe?
Sorry. Yeah, I rented it for the weekend.
No,
I hope everybody's enjoying this live stream because I got a good guess this will be the last one, the one and only.
Well, we got 34 people. We had 35 before I was about to say something. And Tom Jacobs says, "Hey, guys."
Hey, Tom. Tom's coming with it. So Sparky says, so if I leave at 3 a.m, I will make it for breakfast at the Greasy Spoon across the street from the grounds.
And
No
your
Prius.
Prius.
Kaylee Zang says no Prius. I think Gordy Robinson is running a Prius.
A Prius.
And when Kevin Marks says he wants to jam a fork in his eye, I don't.
I don't blame him on that.
I want to jam a fork in my eye, and I'm here.
That's why we wear these safety glasses.
Yep.
That picture that Kaylee sent and showed earlier, that was the weirdest thing I had ever seen on an airplane. That wasn't right, was it? I mean, that wasn't actually designed like that.
Oh, you
what
look.
I think that was a short stop modification to get the plane back out.
You mean the flap gap?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's
flap,
that's pretty much what it was.
it looked like it was cut right out of the flap, though.
Joe,
Yeah.
which Coke's bigger? My little bottle or yours?
So Wayne Mullahan wants us to stop by the Providence Northern, but that's in Providence, and I don't think we can make that, can we?
I'm
Well,
sure
not by the rule of the podcast. You got to go around Rhode Island. You can't go into Rhode Island.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. That's the other problem.
Marty
It was
says
a-
Goodale.
Kaylee says it was a repair. Like, what, they repair it by cutting the chunks out?
I don't know.
Yeah, they cut the flappy part off.
You know what
I don't
happened?
need this.
It snapped when they were removing that part from the sprue.
Yeah. Kaylee, where were you flying from and to? And how come we saw you with Morgan Pavia a couple of days ago? We need to know. So what were you driving today, Mike? What were you engineering? What were you running? What kind of locomotive were you running today?
A GP38-2.
Was it still that J line?
No, that one's back in Nina and somebody else is using it. No.
All right. So with a Grand Trunk one, which one was it?
Yeah, it's a Grand Trunk. What is it? A 5836.
It's still painted Grand Trunk.
No, that one's painted in CN paint now.
Okay, but you were driving. You were driving a Grand Trunk locomotive.
Yeah, a while ago, but yeah, right. It was a Grand, and then this is a Grand Trunk, and we always get like either a Grand Trunk or it's the other one we typically get over there. Once in a while, we'll get a CN, like a 4700. We'll get one of them once in a while. Otherwise, it's mostly Grand Trunk stuff.
Like, and how long has it been since the Grand Trunk even existed?
96.
They still exist.
Yeah, it's a subsidiary.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the way everything works is like I technically work for the Wisconsin Central still, but it's then the Grand Trunk and the Illinois Central, and like the EJ&E, all these have all been brought into the CN family. You know what I mean? So they retain all the reporting marks, they retain all the stuff, and they use all the equipment and everything else like that. It's just all under one big balloon family of this is the CN, but I'm actually part of the Wisconsin Central Division.
But there are no engines, there are no locomotives left with Wisconsin Central paint.
Oh, sure. Yeah, handful.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's some I believe there's some GP38-2s out in British Columbia.
there's one over in Michigan.
Yeah, there's I think like 2 or 3 of the GP40s are left floating around, and then I want to say like 5 or 6 of the SW1500s, and then
And how come they don't paint them?
well, they paint them as they get in there, when they feel like.
How many years has it been since the Wisconsin Central basically went away?
17.
Really? And after 17 years, there's still Wisconsin Central locomotives out there floating around.
There's still WC boxcars floating around. We got some in the yard right now.
Really?
Yeah.
There were a couple of the WC SD45s on the Wheeling Lake Erie that actually regot the lettering before they got rebuilt.
Yep. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. There's Wheeling and Lake Erie, I think, has one of the old WC SD40-2s. There's the stuff is spread all over the place. So a lot of it got scrapped, but yeah.
Okay. So I kind of thought that stuff would be painted faster, and they'd make everything CN faster.
Well,
what is I know you're not a management guy, but what is the thought process of the management? Like, they take over a railroad and they don't seem to care that much about making everything okay. This is CN. We got it. We own it. We paint it CN.
Go ahead, Joe.
I think the biggest reason you get this is because it takes time. You're taking the locomotive out of service just to give it a paint job rather than wait until it needs major repairs, then give it its paint job. Or in some cases, they don't even do that. They'll let it run until the paint's pretty much almost wore off it.
Paint. Tom Jacob says paint costs money. Tom, you should have a camera so that you could be on here with us.
Yeah, well, that's, you know what? Jordan's 100% correct. They can run it as long as they possibly need to in the way it's painted, and it painting an engine takes,
Okay, so let me ask
weeks for that to happen.
Let me ask you this question. Kevin Mark says it costs a lot of money to repaint everything, which it does.
Yep.
But most other companies, like if the local hydro company or electric company takes over another one, they paint everything. You know, like do railroads just basically not make any money?
What it is you got such a wide mileage of inverse diversity. You said the local hydro company. That's a small thing compared to a railroad, if you think about it.
Sure, but then the other argument from the other side could be, well, because it's such a big thing and it can amass a greater amount of profit, a greater amount of capital. So I don't, like if my company, if I bought something, I wouldn't want stuff running around painted from the company I bought.
No, but you might put something like a magnetic decal or decal in Canada, over the top of the old company's stuff, or just have a vinyl decal that you put over the top of it, leave it painted the way it was, and just cover up the old wording. And now it says your company and not the other company. It's just painted different.
Yeah.
Well, how about, like if DHL or UPS there's no way UPS would buy a bunch of DHL trucks and drive them around as DHL trucks.
No, probably not.
No.
But
so
then again, like with a railroad, a lot of times what happens is, like, I'll take that Wheeling and Lake Erie SD40-2 that they got from the WC. That thing ran as, I don't know if it's still in WC paint or not. The last I saw it was. It's not. It got repainted finally.
They rebuilt it into an SD40-3 and it's in black and orange.
Yeah, but it ran in WC paint forever when they got it. And so why fix what's not broke?
Yeah, as long as it's running, a locomotive's going to make it the same amount of money.
BNSF.
No matter what it looks like.
BNSF is a great example. All they did was paint over silver with the Santa Fe and put a BNSF on the side. A lot of them, they didn't even do that. They left the Santa Fe on the side of the engines and just put a big white BNSF under the cab.
You got to watch some of those BNSF war bonnets because they came factory. Santa Fe had bought some of them, and BNSF, the merger occurred, and BNSF put the logo on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the stuff that was Santa Fe prior to the merger already. A lot of the stuff, some of it got painted just silver with a red BNSF on the side. Some of it the Santa Fe. I mean, they just did a little bit of anything. Look at the.
I can think of one.
When the CN bought the Northern Alberta or Alberta Northern.
Alberta Northern was joined by CN and CP for a number of years, and they finally bought out.
Or when they got the SD38-2s, when the CN did, there's pictures out there of them in gray in Alberta Northern. Yeah, Alberta
Northern Alberta.
Northern Alberta. There's pictures of them out there with just CN on the side.
Well, even that. Look at when the Conrail merger happened, 1999. It wasn't until 2012 when NS repainted the last of the Conrail locomotives.
That's a good point.
This sounds like my layout sides when we were having the layout sides discussion. Layout sides is coming out. That podcast is coming out. What's today? It's
Thursday,
coming out
the 3rd.
Tuesday. Layout Sides is coming out next Tuesday. It's a podcast on Patreon that was Mike's idea. If you don't like it, it's Mike's. Yeah, he was busy eating cheese balls. And while we were having that discussion, I said, everybody's like crazy about how detailed and how accurate prototype locomotive or the locomotives have to be or the cars have to be. But then you come to the layout and you make all sorts of concessions to get it to fit. And I guess what I'm thinking is an airline. How about an airline? An airline is as big as a railroad.
Okay.
Huge equipment.
Yep.
Covers lots of ground.
Absolutely.
every 737 costs almost $50 million.
Perfect.
But you would not, when
You say this, Lionel, and I'm going to tell you
I got an answer. I got an answer.
I got an answer for this one too.
Yeah.
okay, so 17 years later, U.S. Airways planes are still flying around, painted as U.S. Airways planes. 17 years later.
Maybe not that long, but I very much remember when I was growing up, North Central Airlines flew into Green Bay. They had DC-9s and they had Convairs. Okay, 2-engine prop jobs. Republic Airlines purchased North Central. They continued to fly in North Central plane with the big goose emblem on the tail. All they did was take and put Republic over where it said North Central. That's it. The paint scheme stayed exactly the same until they were merged into Northwest Orient.
Yep.
When Northwest Orient got them, the paint scheme stayed the same. It just said Northwest Orient on it.
Yeah.
And then the DC-9s, the Convairs were retired. The DC-9s were then painted into Northwest Orient paint. And then came the Delta merger. So between North Central and the time they became Northwest Orient was probably 10 or 12 years.
Or
Maybe.
weren't they crappy little airlines? Like I'm
Republic Airlines still existed.
Norfolk Southern.
Republic was a fairly large outfit.
And it still exists, I think.
It still exists, yeah. And I know it took a long time for their planes to get repainted.
Yep, and it was similar. It was a similar thing as they went in for major mechanical, like you said, Lionel. As they go in for major mechanical repair, they would come out in potentially a different paint scheme. But like Jordan was saying, a lot of times what happens is these guys, they want this stuff to get back out because if it's in the shop, they're not making money with it.
Sure.
Oh, and Tom Jacobs says, I feel like I need to get off Spoon's lawn.
Like, why?
Well,
You're aggravating Wonder Dog.
Wayne Callahan says, "Wait, just keep your camera still, Joe. We're big time, Joe. This is big time." Wayne Mullahan says 6 max on the screen, 5 looks very good. It's a good ratio. Okay, so Wayne, we were talking about that, not having any more than 6 at a time. So okay, Wayne, we were gonna have more. We were gonna have Tony Cook, but he just refuses to show up.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, it does to a point, but I guess where I see it is like if U.S. Airways, I forget who they were bought out by, but you didn't see a whole lot of U.S. Airways planes flying around because they were bought out by a major carrier. I just don't believe it.
Continental.
Maybe. I don't remember.
You guys are hearing an echo?
It was a Continental.
Continental?
United bought Continental. I don't know who bought U.S. Scare.
But anyways, that was just my thought of it. It seems like
American.
It seems like Canadian National and Norfolk Southern and BNSF. It's like it's
American
all so much.
US Air.
It's so much about their corporate image. You wouldn't think that they would 17 years later still have locomotives.
Well, look how long it took for the Kodak paint schemes of the never to be seen Southern Pacific Santa Fe merger.
This shouldn't be so fast.
Yeah.
They got them all ready to go and then said, no, you can't merge. So those units ran around for a long time. That's a better look, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why, Bruce, you've grown a lovely mustache.
Yes.
Anyways, all right, let's change the subject.
Okay. We flogged that one enough?
Yeah, we beat that. You guys are never going to agree with me, so once that happens.
No, I do agree with you, Lionel. It's just the fact that the reality of it is they don't do it that way.
No.
You would think they would, but they don't.
So Kaylee says, for companies like UPS, it's pays for the brand recognition. For railroads, if it runs, let her go. Well, yeah, I understand that. It's no different than a modeler's life, brand recognition. When we made those new shirts, Bruce,
And
I'll hold mine.
here's Ron's trains and things idea. And this is why his reason he is modeling BNSF in the early 2000s.
I'm still on brand recognition. So when I made these new shirts, the guy was explaining to me that each color was a different, each color was a different printing screen, a different screen. So then he was going to just leave the black letters, let the blue show through where the black letters was. And we were talking about it. And finally I said, I don't think I'm comfortable with that because it's black letters. And he immediately goes, yes, brand recognition is important. So that's where I'm at. These railroads are crying they're not making any money. Well, they're not even making it. They're not even keeping their front lawn. It's all about curb appeal.
They're not mowing their grass.
Yeah, they're not mowing their grass. They're letting the weeds grow up. It's like having an old Chevy in the backyard. It's curb appeal. If they can't constantly cry poor, and not put any effort into brand recognition. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, here's what's Ron saying?
Ron was saying that's why he models BNSF in the early 2000s. It's like having two different railroads because of the variety in paint schemes. And you say this, Lionel. You know how popular the heritage units are.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different thing altogether.
There's several heritage units on the Norfolk Southern, the Reading and the Penn Central. Both have paint flaking off them.
Well, and isn't that part of the appeal of railroads in general? Like we're always talking about, trying to figure out why is model railroading and the hobby of railroading so appealing to everybody? It's the variety of the paint schemes and all that stuff. I mean, the heritage units have made train rail fanning a whole new experience.
Penn Central paint flaking is prototypical, though. I mean, that's the way they were.
Yes, this is true.
They were to begin with. I mean,
didn't they apply it flaky?
They applied it flaky.
Well, the whole story behind this, and
Special flake coat they get.
I don't know how true it was, but when they pulled those locomotives out of Muncie, the whole story is that those locomotives were still pretty wet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, possible. Entirely possible.
That locomotive was finished, I believe, 5 hours before they pulled it down.
Oh, could have been.
Because I got video of the final 6 on their way down to Spencer.
That would be cool if they pulled them out before the paint was even dry and it just all kind of ran down the locomotive.
That'd be funny.
We let it sit out in the rain too long.
Tom says that reminds me. I have to put a car up on cinder blocks in the front yard for 2020. Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah. The AML picnic 2020. Don't forget. Call now to guarantee your RV space.
Here, Brooks.
Go ahead.
Bots are limited.
Yes,
Bots
they
are
are.
limited.
Yeah. Here's Brooks Willig makes a very good point. He says, I would say airplanes are retired more frequently than locos. Seems locos are often rebuilt and airplanes have to be scrapped and new ones bought. That's a good point. Hence why there are not many old ones around. That's a very good point. You really don't. The romance of getting on a 60-year-old airplane doesn't even come close to the romance of seeing a 60-year-old locomotive. As you're walking across the tarmac, if it's a 60-year-old DC-8, you're kind of going, not really sure I want to get on that. But if it's a 60-year-old SW1, you're like, oh, cool. Does it run?
It's funny that you said it because I just watched a video about the U.S. Air Force boneyard out in Arizona.
Oh, yes.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, it was one of the first things is that they said everybody thinks this is where airplanes come to die. And he goes, and that's absolutely not the truth. Most of these are just waiting for being repurposed to be rebuilt and sold to other countries or just to be used as a parts source for something else that's keep flying. And he goes, and there was a story behind, he had so many different stories behind a bunch of the airplanes. And it was fascinating. I never kind of thought that way, but I guess I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but it sounded like it kind of fit.
Yeah, when they put those things in mothballs, they don't just stick them there.
No,
they store them so that the sun won't destroy them.
Yeah, Nope.
They said I saw a similar documentary. It takes 30 days to get the oldest of aircraft at Moncton Davis ready for flight again.
Yep.
I guess, but it's just everything I say. You're arguing with me.
Who?
You see, I get the.
I'm not trying to argue with you. This isn't point counterpoint. We're not
on the podcast. I would all be edited out.
See, we gotcha.
Yeah, but,
we had 40 people watching just for a minute, and then the other
and how many are there now?
39, 38.
They're dropping like flies.
They're seeing I'm noticing them.
Oh, Aaron Moss says somebody needs to paint their RV an appealing AML paint scheme.
Yes.
Kevin Marks wants to know: are we still talking about trains? Can you not hear us, Kevin? Because for a while there, we weren't. We were talking about
airplanes.
Yeah. Maybe Kevin's volume isn't working.
And now that we've talked about trains and planes, we've got to go to automobiles.
I was thinking hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Jeez, we've already killed 36 minutes here.
Really?
Have we made any good comments?
Yeah, what's going on in the screen there? Because I'm not watching that.
Well, that's because you got your
Most
cat
of
there.
them are...
Having your cat on your lap seems very similar to the YouTube modelers.
I don't even have the other thing
You
up.
need the cat turned around and be petting it like evil Bond villain.
Evil, oh yes.
Why don't you cough now, Bruce? Cough now, and then that would be perfect.
We already, Aaron Mall commented, said we already talked about Chevys.
Yes, that's true.
Now, Aaron had a question. He sent me a question earlier. So, Brooks Webb says, who's excited about the UP 4014 Big Boy being finished this year? I wouldn't actually mind seeing that.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm actually kicking around in my head getting Tony Cook to go with me, and we'll do some sort of a car adventure and his caddy and go do that. I would actually like to. I would like to see that. So where's that 4014 running from and to?
It will probably operate out of Cheyenne, and I believe they said they're taking it to Salt Lake City.
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yes.
And isn't there a problem, Mr. Oster Tag? Can I call you Tag? Spoon?
Sure. Yes.
Did I read somewhere where there's a problem, like some of the curves that it can't go around, or they have to be
entirely possible? That's entirely possible. I know that when the Milwaukee Road 261 was going back and forth on the WC, there were certain spots it could not go because of the fact that the curves were too tight of a radius, or a degree, I guess it would be. But yeah, it would be. That doesn't surprise me.
See, that's
how far is it from Cheyenne to Salt Lake City?
Well, about that far.
Yeah.
Depends on the skill of your map.
On my map, it's about this far.
It depends on the size of your screen.
On the map.
Yeah, scroll and zoom in on that.
It's getting further and further apart.
Right.
Yeah.
Other way.
So when are they doing that? Is that in May?
It's supposed to be done in May. I mean, there's some debate as
No,
to
I mean, when are they driving it? When are they running it? When is the big? Isn't it for the Golden Spike ceremony?
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, May 10th.
But I'm going to pull a spoon here. There is some debate right now whether or not it'll be done or not. My bet is it'll probably be done, but it's going to be cutting it close.
So I wonder what else they have left to do for it.
I'm not sure. I've really not been keeping up on it.
So Ron Clay says they're bringing the 4014 to Promontory, Utah for the 150th anniversary.
There you go.
And Aaron Moss says, I am too. I'm hoping they slow down past the Museum of Transportation, 4006.
Yeah, that's another one of the big boys.
Ron Marsh says it's 440 miles from Cheyenne to Salt Lake City. He makes that commute daily because he has a home in Cheyenne and a home in Salt Lake City.
There you go.
Ron was doing a live event last night, and his was much more professional.
Oh yeah, that's something we can talk about.
He has four moderators. We don't need four. We've got Kramer.
That's something we can talk about. Did anybody
What's
see the
that?
Rose Bowl parade where the one
The float burned up.
the railroad, the
Rain
railroad,
float
yeah.
caught on fire. Yeah, it caught on fire.
Somebody commented. Richard commented, "Is the Rose Parade float crew working on it?"
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna read what Aaron Ma has sent me. He has a question. He says, "I have a question for your live stream tomorrow. With the new year ahead of us, will you be talking to more model railroad clubs?" That's an interesting question because I feel like contacting model railroad clubs, but every time I've done that, it's like you gotta, it's this guy, and then the next guy will say, "Oh, well, it's not really me. It's really Bob that does all the talking."
No.
So then you get a hold of Bob, and Bob goes, "Well, really, the guy you want to be talking to is Chris." And by the third one of that,
talk to Bruce Kelly. I mean, that's already half.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You get
Get a hold of Kelly. You can talk to pilot clubs. Yes.
Yeah, that's like what, like 7,000 different club presidents all wrapped up into one guy.
Yeah.
yeah, many different kinds of clubs too.
Yes.
So then he goes on, "I would like to know more about different club mindsets, how they are organized, and what their objectives are for operations. Example, rail fanning loop for shows or permanent club layout that people visit." None of us really have that much experience with clubs, do we?
I mean, I'm in
a
club.
I haven't been part of a club for 20 years, I'll bet you.
I think
Yeah.
I'm the odd man out on this stream tonight because I'm in that 1923 modular group,
Yes.
and
Right.
our philosophy is we want to have an accurate scene with prototypical timetable and train order operations, and we're willing to let the public run. We want to teach the public how to do timetable, and train order.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean
That's very cool.
the modules I'm designing are passing siding with industry, so you have to put your train in the siding and work the industry.
So what club do you belong to?
It's technically not a real club. We don't believe in membership dues or anything. It's just a group of guys.
So
And
how did you meet these guys? How did you meet these guys?
at a train show? They were operating, and I came up, and I'm like, "Well, this is interesting." And we started talking, and they go, "Here, have a throttle, make a train up in our yard."
So how many modules did they have? How many guys are in this group?
With me included, I believe there are now 6.
Okay. And each guy has a couple of modules?
Yes. I believe there were maybe 10, 12 modules.
Right.
They're single track with at the ends of the layout turn back loops, so the trains go into the staging yards, turn back, and come back out.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of a long. Is it long and narrow?
It's a long, windy L, is the best way to put it. It's our modules are 16 inches wide, so not
huge.
yeah. So you can get a track and a couple industries on it, and have some buildings.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think newer clubs are built for operation, and older clubs are built for continuous running. But every club, I think, is built for continuous running at some point. I mean, that would be my guess.
I
Yeah.
mean, look at the
And
Fremont guys.
here's a little known fact that the Long and Winding L was a working title for a famous Beatles song, and they changed it.
Yeah. He said he's recently been accepted into the Jefferson County and Southern Model Railroad Club, a great group of guys who want to see model railroading inspire the next generation. Excellent. Well, Aaron, if you can get those guys organized and get somebody to be on the podcast, I'll be more than happy to interview them. I should add that the club will be at the 2020 NMRA convention in St. Louis. If I don't make it to the picnic in July, I hope to meet you there and some of the others. Well, do you have anybody in specific that you'd like to meet, Aaron? And he goes on here. He puts, "I'm hoping the club I joined will start working towards this idea. I'm currently building a new switching layout to try on this on a much smaller scale." Where are you from, Aaron? Send me I can't hear him. I can't hear Aaron. I asked him a question and I can't hear him. Aaron, where are you from?
I just had another one of my really bad ideas.
All right, let's hear it, Mike.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, come on. You've thrown it out there. You
Yeah.
got to go through with it. No turning back, pal.
All right. We should all build a module
Oh no.
and go to a Springfield show next year. Set the damn thing up and see exactly how big of a disaster that turns into.
Scott Thornton is on here now. He goes, "Oh man, I was searching for bowl game highlights, and suddenly my screen got fuzzy and popped up." Email voice. Bonus, you all look like the Brady Bunch.
We need a couple more and we can put Lionel in the middle.
That's it.
Is that the same Scott Thornton that developed the Proto throttle, which is taking the world by storm?
I would believe it would be.
I would believe it would be too.
Wouldn't sell 100. Is that the same Scott Thornton?
I
He'll
would say yes.
He'll sell 100 at Springfield.
Yeah. How many?
Aaron?
Hey, Scott, how many throttles do you think you will sell in Springfield? Can we mute Spoon's feed? Jacobs wants to know.
Robert Frischella said. Robert Frischella said in 5 different scales, and Aaron Mall said, haha, sipping and switching gone wrong.
Yeah.
Greg Giovanello, who is a member of the Crescent City Club in New Orleans, they have their own building. He says they run a loop for open houses and point-to-point for operations. How many times? Greg is the last man to fill out the Suburban. Joe, you've been awfully quiet.
I'm trying to keep Wonder Dog from barking.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're feeding him peanut cups?
No, I'm not feeding him peanut butter cups. That's why I think he's going to bark.
Oh.
See,
No, I spoke to Greg earlier, and he's actually not riding with us. He's going to meet us at George's.
Okay.
And be part of the convoy down to Chris's.
Oh, so he's not riding with us at all now.
now
No.
you guys do
But we
have
have room for one more.
now you guys
we
do
have room
your
for one more.
permits, don't you?
What's that?
You guys do have your traveling permits, so you can have the police escorts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in the Suburban, we have room for one more. There you go. Okay, so Scott Thornton says, "Uh-oh, here he goes." He says, "Uh-oh, not again. Beat up on old Scotty boy." We are not beating up on you. The amount of free publicity we've given you and I should mention, Scott has very graciously said that they were going to auction off a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 Proto throttles to put towards the my foundation for the hospital. So I think that's a lovely
Very cool.
There we
fantastic.
go.
That's
That's awesome.
way to go. Way to go, Scotty boy.
Attaboy, Scotty.
But you're still not answering the question. How many throttles do you think you'll sell in Springfield, Scott?
He's going to come back with 6.
Do you think how many would he have sold? How many would he have sold in Train Fest? A half a dozen, a dozen?
Well, I think he sold pretty close to that. I know they had quite a few of them there. I think they had 6 or 8 of them there. I did my part trying to help them sell them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, you're okay. Let's talk about that. We got another 10 minutes left.
Martin
What?
has asked his big question. He goes, "Will Ralph be on later to do his clinic on 3D printing?" On the live stream?
No, and then Kevin Marks want now. See, Scott, we got to. You know what? We got to do this with Scott Thornton.
That would
That
be
would-
fun.
How about that, Scott? Our next live stream we do with you. Scott says he's thinking he's going to sell about 1,000, and Michael and Nathan have to get busy.
Perfect.
I would take a Steam one. Mark said we got 2 people saying they'd take an interurban one.
Well, I'm sure they would. And so Scott says he'll be on our next live stream.
Awesome.
Okay, Scott, it's a date, and we get Scott on here. That would be great. And then we got to get Kaylee on here too. Okay, so Martin says, looks like I will have to get a Proto throttle if they're going to do that. Just needs to be converted to work down under. No, it doesn't. The electricity is the same down under.
Hold on a minute.
No,
There's
it
a
goes the other way.
version. Hold on a minute. Give me a few seconds. I'll show you how you convert it.
Okay, he's gonna show us how to convert it.
Okay, your Proto throttle comes.
Hold on, we can't see what you're doing.
No, because I'm not showing you yet.
He's not showing us yet. It's a secret.
Your Proto throttle comes with a American and Australian switch on it. So when you have the American side, it looks like this. Okay.
Right. Okay.
All right, and then all you have to do is you take it off, and inside here, there's a little hidden switch way back in here. You got to kind of get there, and then when you put it back on, it goes like that.
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
knew you were going to do that.
Sorry, Scott.
Scott,
There is
yeah.
actually no American-Australian switch conversion switch on the inside of a Proto throttle.
There you go.
The opinions just expressed do not necessarily represent those of the AML network.
What were we going to talk about for the last 10 minutes? I've got such a good memory, and I've lost it already.
I don't remember.
I know
We were just
you're
gonna talk
talking
about-
about Scott, and
We're going to talk about what were we going to talk about in the last 10 minutes? It was a great idea.
They always are.
Yeah, they always are. He'll be here all week, folks. Everybody likes your joke. Apparently our audience is easily entertained.
which is good.
Yeah.
Was that a rhetorical statement?
Ralph says me forgetting is a sign of getting old.
Mike Wachowski asked it.
Wants us to talk about NMRA insurance. Yeah, we got to have Scott on. Scott, you're going to be up next. Sparky doesn't get it. Now I'm doing that thing that I was afraid of. Now I'm looking over here, kind of going, let's see what. Oh, look, it says Scott Thornton, the PTs. I guess that's short form for Proto throttle. That's the inside jargon for Proto throttle.
That's what the hip kids say.
The PTs will actually be custom painted faceplates, all beat up like the real thing that Mike's so used to. That'd be kind of
That's
cool, wouldn't it?
cool.
Those are the
Yeah.
ones that are going to auction off.
That's cool.
You can send us some
Scott
cab
actually
shots
did
from your locals, Mike.
Scott's personal one is actually like that, and it looks
I know.
sharp. It's really sharp.
Can you take a picture of your throttle stand in your locomotive, or would you get in trouble doing that?
I might be able to do something like that. I might even have one.
Okay.
Let me take a look.
As Kevin Mark says, if I'm not a member of a club and go to an open house and fall, sprain my ankle, am I covered by the NMRA insurance? This is. Oh,
This will not be on Patreon. This will be This will be on the YouTube channel. You will be able to view the entire thing on YouTube.
oh, okay. Did you just make an executive decision there?
I know somebody asked that, and that's YouTube's algorithm. Unless you want to put it on.
Okay, so here Jim S. wants to know, so where will people find the AML crew in Springfield? You will find us. City Classics booth is our main booth in Springfield, and City Classics is in what? But it's in the Better Living Center, is it not, Bruce?
I believe it's in the Better Living Center.
I think it's in
It's the big one right at the front.
Yeah,
we're the northeast corner of the Better Living Center.
building where the office is. What was that, Joe?
I said Jim is set up in the northeast corner of the Better Living Center.
The northeast corner of the Better Living Center. And Robert Frischella will be wants to know if it'll be weathered with pan pastels, the Proto throttle.
Ron Kleiss says, "Please delete this video after completion for the sake of all humanity."
Oh, geez, and there I was going to give his new business a plug too.
Yeah, well, sorry, Ron.
Sorry, Ron.
Sorry, Ron. We were going to talk to you about your new business.
Andy Dorsch is on, and he says, Kevin Mark's not covered by anyone ever.
And Aaron Moss says, no, it's the AML booth with City Classic signs.
Yes.
You know what? Jim Sacco has been incredibly
Gracious.
welcoming. What's that?
Gracious and welcome.
Gracious. He's been incredibly gracious in the way we all hang out. It used to be just me, and now it's the whole AML gang hangs out there.
He's inherited an entire crew.
Yeah, yeah. Jim Sacco has inherited an entire crew, an entire audience. All right, we're coming down to 5 minutes. Are you getting ready to wind her down there?
I am.
Are there any other good questions in the chat, Jordan?
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff. Kaylee Zhang says, come see me on Saturday at Tom's Trains in the Young Building. Okay, Kaylee, so you're going to be working at Tom's Trains because last year you were working at the layout, the O-scale layout.
Spoon never spills anything on his control stand, and somebody has asked where will the dinner be at Saturday night at Springfield?
It'll be at Cal's. Who is Dodo Tops?
I'm not sure.
Or Dodo?
Somebody ask if I've ever spilled anything on my control stand.
That was your friend. That was your S-scale friend in Boston.
Oh God, I tell you what, I've spilled plenty of stuff on my control stand.
Which one is the Providence Northern is in the Young Building too? I thought Providence. Which one is the Young Building? Somebody help me. Which one is the Young Building? The thing is it's Brian Doherty. Brian, yes, I've already saved you a spot for the dinner.
Hey, Mike, were you the one who was talking about the story about the people who have coffee and they throw it out the window? And the window's sometimes closed?
Yeah, I had a conductor do that here not about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I laughed and laughed and laughed.
I didn't know if it was you or my other locomotive engineer friend who had it even better. Okay, go ahead, Lionel.
I got a question for you, Spoon. Seeing as Kaylee Sang says the Young Building's near the center of the compound. Tom Jacobs goes, you mean there's more than one building at Springfield? I hope that he's kidding.
Tom's a Springfield rookie.
Yes, Tom is a Springfield rookie. He will be. Kaylee, you and I have to make sure we look after Tom Jacobs because he's going to be overwhelmed.
So what can it be?
Greenhorn.
Wait till I go next year.
Okay, Ron Kleiss, where is Mine Mount Models going to be? Is it Mine Mount Models?
Yes.
Okay. I don't really care for that name, Ron, but it's okay. Where's Mine Mount Models going to be? Yeah, that's a tongue twister. Oh, yeah. So Brian Doherty's a Springfield rookie. He's coming all the way from Texas. So that's pretty cool. All right. That's it. I think we should start winding her down now.
All right.
Bruce, can you give out our email address?
I'm sure people would love to send many emails after this adventure. Anyhow, our email address is modlerslife. It's modler with one L, modlerslife@gmail.com.
That didn't sound the same as when you do it on the podcast. You seemed a little...
and that is...
That's because you can see him doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. He can see himself doing it. So
here, let me do this then.
Hold on. And that is...
Our email address.
There you go. Now do it. Our email address.
Our email address is modlerslife, modlers with one L, modlerslife@gmail.com.
Scott Thornton says he loves this.
Good.
This is great. Love the streaming. Well, that makes one of us.
Kevin Marks wants his refund.
So I'll tell everybody I was completely against this idea. I didn't want to do it. I didn't think it was a good idea, but I think how would we rate this? I would say let's have everybody give us a rating here. How do you feel we did? A rating out of 10, and be completely honest.
It was better than I thought.
The Russian judge gave us 3.4.
Brooks likes it too. Brooks says it's AML interactive. Kevin Marks says it's cool. Well,
wow. Well, Kevin Marks knows cool. So
yeah.
Wait a minute. I have something to say.
Of course,
as much as we all love Kevin Marks, you kind of have to throw that one out a little bit because he doesn't have a bad thing to say about anybody.
Yeah, you ought to hear him talk about you.
Oh, except for me. I know that.
Wow, we're getting...
Wayne Mullahan gives us a 9 out of 10.
whoa.
We got an 11 out of 10.
The train guy gives us a 9.5. Joseph Lavely says, well done, guys. Aaron Moss says Kelly scale. Ron's Trains and Things, 1.3.
That'd be a good score for the Kelly questions.
That would, yeah, I was going to say, if you're going to watch a really good video channel, you go to Ron's Trains and Things, because it's one of the best video channels out there that
He
you really
clarified.
want to see. But now that we've gotten a 1.3 rating out of 10 from Ron,
Well, hold on.
So sorry,
Lionel.
Ron.
yeah, sorry, Ron.
All
Kevin
right.
Marks gives us an 8.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Kentari Star. Who's that? Kentari Star gives us a 9. Ron Class says it's marginally adequate.
There you go.
Little Mike Wachowski gives us a 9, an 8. Kaylee Sang says this is like the score. Is this like the score on the Kelly questions? No, it's that's entirely different. Andy Dorsch minus 22. I was going to also say, if you really want to watch really good videos, you could go to Andy Dorsch's Chicago and Northwestern Marshline channel, and there's some really good. But
Bob Ross.
But there's a whole pile of other battle channels out there. So
yeah, but there's a whole pile of other channels out there, so don't bother wasting your time. Bob Fragella gave us a 9.57. Scott Thornton
Excellent.
does 11, like my Marshall amp. Wow. Tom Jacobs 9.67. Randy Timmerman says awesome show. Who is your favorite, Randy? And don't be shy. Greg Javanello gives us a 9. He's going to be hanging around with us in Springfield.
Got a couple.
looking forward to meeting him.
Yeah, Kale loved the show. I think this was okay. So according to the people that are watched, 3 thumbs up from Kaylee. Well, that's good.
We did better in viewership too.
Brooks Willig, your podcast is coming up soon too. Oh, Scott Thornton says, I think Mike's decided to start modeling. He seems pretty focused on something else. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah, have you lost interest?
No, I have not lost interest. However, I did find this the perfect opportunity to be able to show off the fact that I'm making progress on my computer project during the whole thing, while Andy Dorsch is sitting there playing on his computer.
Andy's even going. What's Mike doing?
Andy,
Yeah, Mike's doing. Yeah, we should tell everybody. Okay.
bolster.
Yeah, let's finish off here. Mike, the Spoon Ostertag from Green Bay, Wisconsin, the home of the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Him and Andy Dorsch of Ripon, Wisconsin. They say Ripon, but it's actually Ripon, Wisconsin. They are having a caboose build-off, which is a disaster so far. It's an
Absolutely
disaster.
is. It really is.
Dorsch says he has that much done. Dorsch can't.
Pictures or it didn't happen there, Andy.
Here's the problem with Dorsch. Here's the problem with Andy Dorsch. First, he was going to be painting his ceiling. We all had to hear about how he's going to be painting his ceiling. The next thing you know, he's making videos about building bench work, and the ceiling isn't painted. And now this is the same guy that thinks he's going to scratch build a caboose by the time May rolls. You guys are down to days now. You've almost run out of time.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'd be surprised how much you can crank out in a few days.
I am ahead in the clubhouse, I would like to think. After day 1.
All right.
Tom Jacobs says Andy is letting Henry build the caboose. And Kevin Mark says Andy has more time because he's not finishing his ceiling over his new bench work. I know. It's a disaster, Kevin. I don't understand what Andy's doing. He should have finished the ceiling. I gave him specific instructions. Finish the ceiling.
Oh, he's also got a contest. Andy Dorsch has also got the contest he got to worry about with Ron's Trains.
Oh, yeah. Ron's Trains and Things has a weathering freight car contest. And if given us a better rating, we could have talked about it right here on our.
Oh, I forgot about that. I got to do that too.
Are you doing that one too?
Yeah.
Tom Jacobs is doing that one. When is it due? All right. Let's turn this into the Ron's Trains and Things headline show. Ron, when is your wait? Are we boring you, Joe?
I just heard my dog doing something he probably shouldn't be doing, but that's okay.
How's
I'll
that
deal with-
smell?
I'll deal with it later.
All right.
And Andy Dorsch comes back with "Don't bother, Mike. American Flyer is not allowed."
Okay, the deadline for Ron's Trains and Things freight car. What is this contest called? Down and Dirty contest or something?
Down and dirty too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's down and dirty
Down
too.
It's March the 3rd. When you got to have that done by. You'll never get that done by. Ooh, shots fired. All right, that's it. So, Bruce, you've given out the email address.
Yes. And now somebody should talk about our website.
I was just about to get to that. And we have a website at modelerslife.com. If you go there, you'll see a whole bunch of the most recent shows listed with I call them billboards, those pictures that I make. Would they be the billboards of each podcast? And so we go there, modelerslife.com. There's links to our Facebook page and our Patreon page. Oh yeah, and I have an announcement. Anybody that's listening, if you're a Patreon subscriber, please send me your address because I'm trying to bring the records up to date because there's some people that are being owed a t-shirt. Some people are being owed the second t-shirt, which is really cool. This is the first t-shirt you get if you're a $10 a month subscriber. Every 10 months you get a free t-shirt. So I need to get all my addresses on. So make sure if you're a Patreon subscriber, please send me your address. You can send it to Modelers Life. What's that email address there, Bruce?
Our email address. Modelers Life, and modelers with one L, modelerslife@gmail.com.
And
There you go.
That is one L like Weld and not two L's like Miller.
Yeah. And that's it. I think we're calling it a night. So remember,
I just have one thing. Well, we'll finish up, but I'll have one thing to say at the end.
well, the ending is, I think I have the ending.
Okay. I'll just say that it's another Lincoln Homer.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, maybe you should go last. Okay, I like that. All right, let's see. Here's one. This is something I just realized. Modeler's Life is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10 anesthesiologists. Anesthesiologists.
Learning big new words today.
Wow.
Gilbert.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
That's it.
Thanks,
Right.
everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Buy war bonds.
Yeah, buy war bonds.